Hello everyone, it's Ramirez here, and before I start this video, I want to apologize for my absolutely obscene and deranged actions last week, where I posted what my opinion is on how Attack on Titan will end, and I was completely wrong, and my opinion did not age well, and I was viciously mobbed by members of the community for being wrong and stupid. So again, I truly apologize for stating my opinion. I truly apologize for exercising my right to freedom of speech. I truly apologize for not being able to predict the future of the series. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. However, I feel there's nothing else to do than me apologizing. So I'm sorry. From the looks of it, my last video did not age well at all, especially from the humdinger of a chapter that Isayama has decided to put out. Reading this chapter, I felt a sense of euphoria and a raw throbbing energy chokehold me and not letting me breathe. Frankly, it was one of my favorite chapters in the entire series, based on the initial ecstasy from reading it, and I really enjoyed it. I truly did. Obviously, there's a few small things that bothered me, but overall, it was a very enjoyable chapter and was incredibly well done. Now, obviously, my vision of the perfect ending, like a lot of people, was Eren destroying the entire world except Paradise Island. I felt that was unique enough of an ending for a series like Attack on Titan, which is so filled with darkness, war, and violence, that I thought it would fit the story well. And based on Eren's initial motivations of destroying everyone outside of the wall after seeing the future while grooming Historia's hand, I felt it was a good ending. But I was called stupid and retarded for thinking that way, so I apologize. But with the current setup of the final chapter, honestly, the story can still go both ways. With the Alliance winning or with Eren winning as well, the final chapter can literally end up with anything. But for now, let's talk about the actual chapter at hand. Although Connie and Jean aren't considered the top dogs of the series and are given the side character treatment, their send-off in this chapter was extremely emotionally powerful. So seeing them die like that was truly traumatizing, and in my opinion was a great send-off to these characters. Gabby, well, that's a different story. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter hate the fact that their favorite character dies in a series, and that being the reason they hate the story and start boycotting the chapter. To all these e-Karens, I just want to tell you to all respectively go f*** yourselves. Just because your favorite character dies doesn't mean the story is awful. Ace died in One Piece and he was one of my favorites in the series. Doesn't mean I hate the story, it was a brilliant sequence. Same thing here. And honestly, if you're clinging onto your favorite characters dying in Attack on Titan no less, where literally everyone dies, I honestly don't know what to say. One thing that I've noticed going around is that there's a chance that these characters will be untitanized in the next chapter, whether it be the curse of Ymir being lifted or Eren dying, making the characters that turn into titans normal again. From a story perspective, I would not be a fan of that. It was a very bold decision to kill these characters off in such a devastating and cruel way, and reversing it would truly lessen the impact of how these characters die trying to save the world. There's also these other minor characters getting false reunions before they get titanized. Annie's father, Rainer's mom, Peak's family, Gabby's family, all turning into titans after reuniting was a very brutal scene that left a lot of impact on the story, especially with Peak's character, because she initially helped with the titanizing of Ragako village, and seeing her family die the same way was crazy parallels. Oh my god, that was sick. And can we talk about Annie as well? She spent literally how many years in a crystal getting absolutely plastered by Armin's semen, and the only reason she didn't off herself was because she wanted to see her father, and before she could say anything to her father, he turns into a titan. Oh, Isayama, you raw dog. The other major part of the chapter was Misaka's revelation. I really loved her dream of running away together with Eren and living out their final days isolated from the rest of the world, but she knew that was impossible, so she had to let Eren go. In this world, Mikasa realized that a peaceful ending like that would have a devastating consequence on her, Eren, and the rest of the world, and at that point she finally understood that those feelings that she had for Eren will never be reciprocated because Eren possesses way too many responsibilities and burdens to the world, and her slicing Eren's head off and mutilating his decapitated head put the last nail in the coffin of their relationship. Mikasa understood what had to be done, but the idealized version of Eren still remains in her mind, and so she leaves a final kiss of death to end it all. They were never meant to be together in this world, if only the circumstances were different. And then there's like Ymir in the background, like proud wingman. This is a really good panel. I really enjoyed that. Oh god, that was so good. Overall, this chapter was a roller coaster of emotions that honestly I did not expect at all. I really like the fact that a lot of the sins that these characters have committed in the past came back to haunt them. The final panel with Mikasa committing necrophilia was wonderful, and Rainer is still not dead, surprisingly. But this chapter leaves a few questions to ask about the final chapter of the series coming next month. First is that Historia still has not gotten a POV chapter. Throughout this entire arc, Historia has just not been seen at all and has become pretty much an NPC at this point. The last we saw of her was a panel of her giving birth when the rumbling commenced, so a few theories still stand out about her whereabouts. I'm not going to get too critical here because there's still a whole chapter left, but that's a key point in the story that I expect to be addressed in the next chapter. Next is Ymir. What is her character about? What does she want? I'm honestly incredulously confused about her motivations and general purpose in this story. She helps Eren out, and then she lets Eren get his head decapitated and smiles. I'm really confused, but I expect a resolution to that as well. And then there's Eren. It's crazy how the main character of the show has barely said anything this late into the finale, but I hope to see something from him as well, even though he's considered dead now. Who knows, the final chapter may have double the pages to properly send everyone off, but I'm really interested to see how it ends. However, there's one more thing that I wanted to talk about. Obviously, from the looks of it, the ending that I thought would fit the show really well didn't end up happening, but that doesn't mean I'm disappointed. I was actually incredibly ecstatic while reading it, and I was in a heightened state of mind. But some of the fans seemed to be borderline psychopathic when it came to this chapter, because it challenged their perspective of how the series would end. Some people wished Mikasa should be raped and murdered because she kissed Eren's juicy lips. This is truly disgusting, and frankly, it's so funny to me that there are people that are this entitled when it comes to their favorite series. As much as you or I love the series, wishing death and rape on a fictional character, as well as sending death threats to the creators, is just a truly disgusting and shameful act. I know a majority of the fanbase isn't like that, but regardless of what side you're on, you don't write the manga, so therefore you literally have no say in how it ends. Obviously, we can criticize an ending, but it's actually insane what has been said and what has been going on in some of these fanbases communities. This is Isayama's story that has been cultivated by him for a decade, and we're lucky enough to live in a time where we can enjoy the ride. So to all the fans that are just being extremely weird about everything, please stop being weird and rethink your life decisions. I don't care if you're a fan of whatever. Some of the things that have been going on in this community is absolutely insane. So please stop embarrassing this community. That's pretty much all I have to say.
Fuck Gabby, 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 fuck Gabby. Eren ain't did nothing wrong. Eren ain't did nothing wrong.